Hello everyone. Today we are going to be discussing a question from Typical PT's platform. Let's jump right in. Here is the question. You've accepted a new job at an outpatient clinic located in a rural town near the top of a mountain. There are only a few roads, and the population is relatively healthy. On your first day, you begin noticing some abnormal lab values and vital signs that are different from what you are accustomed to seeing at sea level. What results are you observing at these higher altitudes? Here are your answer choices. A. Increase in red blood cell count, decrease in resting heart rate, increase in respiratory rate, and an increase in oxygen saturation. B. Increase in red blood cell count, increase in resting heart rate, increase in respiratory rate, and a decrease in oxygen saturation. C. Decrease in red blood cell count, decrease in resting heart rate, decrease in respiratory rate, and an increase in oxygen saturation. D. Decrease in red blood cell count, increase in resting heart rate, increase in respiratory rate, and a decrease in oxygen saturation. Go ahead and pause the video right now. Think through the logic and lock in your answer. When you are ready, hit play again to see the solution. Welcome back. The correct answer is choice B. Before we break down the explanation, let's think about what is happening physiologically at high altitudes. At higher elevations, the oxygen level in the air is reduced. This creates a situation where less oxygen is available to be absorbed into the bloodstream, so the body has to compensate in order to maintain adequate oxygen delivery to tissues. Now let's explain why this answer is correct. At high altitudes, there is an increase in red blood cell count because the body compensates for the reduced oxygen levels by producing more red blood cells to improve oxygen carrying capacity. There is also an increase in resting heart rate, especially with initial exposure, as the heart pumps more blood to deliver oxygen to the tissues. In addition, respiratory rate increases as individuals breathe faster in an attempt to take in more oxygen. Despite these compensatory mechanisms, oxygen saturation typically decreases because the air contains less oxygen to begin with. That pattern matches choice B: increased red blood cell count, increased resting heart rate, increased respiratory rate, and decreased oxygen saturation. Now, let's go over why the other choices are incorrect. Answer choice A is incorrect because it suggests an increase in oxygen saturation at high altitudes. This is not expected, since lower atmospheric oxygen levels result in decreased oxygen saturation despite the body's compensatory responses. Answer choice C is incorrect on multiple points. A decrease in red blood cell count is not observed at high altitudes. In fact, the opposite occurs. Resting heart rate and respiratory rate also do not decrease in response to reduced oxygen levels. The only accurate part of this option is the increase in oxygen saturation, but that is not the typical response seen at high altitudes. Answer choice D is incorrect because it suggests a decrease in red blood cell count, which goes against the body's adaptive response to produce more red blood cells at higher elevations. While it correctly identifies increases in heart rate and respiratory rate, it incorrectly pairs those changes with a decrease in red blood cell count. Now that you've gone through this case, take a moment to jot down all the key points in your typical PT digital notebook. Use it to organize your notes, highlight concepts you found confusing, or mark areas you want to review later. This feature isn't just for note-taking. It can serve as your personal reviewer, helping you track what you've mastered and identify topics you still need to strengthen, ultimately improving your retention and understanding. Thanks for watching today's question of the day. We're dropping new NPTE prep content every single day to help you pass with confidence. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at typicalpt for daily study tips, quick reviews, and motivation to keep you going.